Good morning, third graders. This is a lesson continuing with triangles. It's going to be triangles classified by angles. Now, last week we learned triangles classified by sides. So just to do a quick review, we have 3 different classifications that we can do for this. So we have a scaling triangle that has 0 or no sides that are the same. An isosceles triangle has 2 sides that are the same, and an equilateral triangle has 3. So we're going to need to know this information, and then we're going to learn one new part to it. So triangles classified by sides. Now, let's take a look at some triangles. So this is an equilateral triangle because it has 3 sides that are exactly the same length. Now, the sides, that's how we can classify it. But if we're looking at the angles, we need to look at the inside point right here. Remember, the outside where the sides meet is going to be the vertex. But inside of it, that is the angle. So I brought a protractor here, and we are going to be using this just very quickly in an easy way for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up one of the vertex with the center circle, and I'm going to see that this is a 60-degree triangle, which you don't even really need to know. All you need to know is that it is smaller than 90 degrees. So the 90 degrees is right here, and it's smaller than that. So 90 degrees is exactly the edge of a piece of straight paper like this. So this is smaller than that. So this is an acute angle. And I like to remember acute, like a cute little tiny baby. That's how I always remember it. Acute. Now I have acute. Now, let's look here. So this is tiny. This is acute angle, and this is an acute angle. But it does have one angle that's different. So this angle is right. So this one is a right-angled triangle. If it has one right angle, it's going to be classified as right. Right-angled, 90 degrees. Now, this one has 2 acute angles, which all triangles will have at least 2 acute angles, or if they're all big, then they would not be a triangle anymore. So it has 1 angle and 1 angle are really little. Those are 8 cute tiny ones. This one has 0 right angles, but it has one that's really big. So it's bigger than the right angle. You can hold that up and see, obviously, that it's bigger and wider than that. So let's look. I'm going to line up my vertex here, and let the straight line by the straight line at the very bottom. And this one measures 100, a little less than 140, but it's big. We call this really, 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 really big one obtuse. Obtuse. I like to remember it by O. Obtuse, big, like a ogre. Ogre. Obtuse. Think about Shrek. He's big and tall. Ogre. Big, big, big angle. Teeny tiny acute angle. Then we have another one. So let's look here. We have acute, and what's this one? Is that like the edge of a piece of paper? Can I classify that? Let's see. Yep. It's exactly 90 degrees, so I can classify that as a right-angled triangle. Now, here we go here. Acute, acute, acute too. So that's going to be an acute. So we have 2 right angles ones and 2 acute so far. And then let's see, we have 1 more in our triangle inside drawer, but it does not have a little thing, so it's kind of hard to get out. Okay. So this one is tiny. This one is tiny. That one, so when I turn it flat, it kind of helps me decide, but even without my protractor, if it is small or little. And it's bigger than the edge of a piece of paper. So I'm just going to double check. Here and here. Yep, it is about 110 degrees because we measure the size and the angle in degrees, just like we do with temperature. So that's going to be obtuse. So I have here, and I'll tip this down so you can see it a little bit better, but we have acute angled, right angled, and obtuse angled. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to make a little chart with some string. So I'm going to start over, put all my triangles away, and we need to do some classification. So acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle. I'm going to keep those here. Move them a little bit over. But then on the other side, I need 3 others. So then I'm going to have equilateral. I'm going to put equilateral this way. Isosceles. And scalene. Actually, I think I'll try them this way again. And I'm going to make my chart with them. Okay. So remember, equilateral is all sides are the same. Isosceles, 2 sides are the same. And scalene, all sides are different. So I have some string here. And I'm going to make a little chart for us. Just like a little graph almost. And then here. Okay. So I'm going to first take a triangle out and I'm going to classify it by the sides. Then I'm going to classify it by the angle. So there's 2 different types of classifications. Okay, so this one is the easiest one to do because this one we see all the time. So this one, what type of angle does this have? What type of sides does it have? Think everybody. So this is an equilateral triangle, so it's going to have to go in this one up here. So this is equilateral. I'm going to move this up so I can't quite see it on the screen. Sorry, guys. Okay, I think that's going to be better. Now we can see all parts. Okay, so it's equilateral, so it's going to be right in here. Now, are these angles big? Are they little? Or are they exactly 90 degrees? They are little. So this is an equilateral triangle with acute angles. So it's going to go here. That's the only one. Okay, so now let's take this one. Let's look at kind of sides it has. What kind of angles does it have? It has 3 sides, obviously, so it's a triangle. This side is not the same side as those, but are those 2 the same? What does that represent? That is an isosceles triangle because these 2 are the same and this one is different. So it's going to go here. But now look at the angles. So are these angles big, little, or right angles? Look right here. Those are all acute angles. So it's isosceles, so it has to go in this row. And then it is acute, so it has to go here. All right, let's take a look at this one. All right, so the sides, I'm going to hold it up a little bit because this white wall is really great. So think about how big that one is. And then I'm gonna, oh, not the same size. Not the same size. So are all three sides of that one different? What kind of angle is that? That is a scalene. So that's gonna have to go down here to scalene. Now, is this, remember, two sides are always gonna be acute. So teeny, teeny, acute. Now what would we classify that as? Is that bigger than 90 degrees? I'm gonna put my finger right up here. Yep. So that is gonna be a scalene, but it's gonna be an obtuse triangle. And that one's kind of hard to see. Can't get it all in actually, or trying. Okay, stick it right up here. All right, so next we have, we'll do this one. Here. So, look at it this way. How many sides are the same? What kind of angles do we have? So this one is much shorter than this one for sure. So that one's different. This one and this one, it's not exact obviously because my fingers, but those two are going to be the same. So this one is what kind of triangle has two sides? Isosceles. So it's going to go in this row. Isosceles. Now let's look at this. Is it an acute angle here? Because these two are acute, we know that. Is this an acute angle? Or is it a right angle, or is it an obtuse angle? So let's get our protractor out to help you. You don't really have to have a protractor at home. You can do it with a piece of paper because this is the 90-degree part and it's bigger than that. So this one's gonna be obtuse, like our big old ogre friend. So it's isosceles, obtuse. All right, so next we have this one. So we have three angles. What type of sides? This one, no, those two are not the same, but this one and this one, those two are. So that is what kind of triangle again? That's gonna be our isosceles triangle again, isosceles. Now let's look at the angle. So these two are acute, obviously, two of them are, but let's look at here. What kind of angle is that? Does it look pretty straight on that side? I think it might be that special kind that's only 90 degrees. What's that called? A right angle. So let's try. It is! Okay, so we said this is isosceles and it is a right angle triangle. Awesome. So we only have one more to do. Okay, so looking at here, we have what type of angles and what type of sides. So let's look here. Oh, yep, no, those are not the same. This one is much shorter. Let's see if it's the same as this one. Nope, not the same. Let's see if this one is the same as this side. No, that one was much longer. So this one has all three sides that are different. So what will we call that? That one is also going to be scalene, so it's going to be here. But now let's look at the angles. So we looked at the sides. Acute, acute, and what type of one is that? If we look at it straight on that white wall, it definitely looks straight up and down here, straight up and down here. So let's see if it really is. So I'm going to put it right here. It is, that's a right angle, awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at our chart. I'm gonna move my, all right, so we can look at that for a while. We could even pause your video if you needed this for your lesson. So we have our equilateral triangles, which there's only one. Then we have our isosceles triangles, which there's two. There's an acute angled and a right angled. Then there's a scalene. So then there's an obtuse scalene, a right angled scalene. In isosceles, there was one acute angled one, a right angled one, and an obtuse angled one. So when you're thinking about doing follow-up work for this lesson, you want to think about how can you practice these things. So there are three different types of classifications for angles and three types of classification for sides. I'm going to show you those charts one more time. And these charts will be uploaded to Google Classroom too for you. So this is triangle classifications by side, and this is T16 through 18. So we have scalene, isosceles, equilateral, and then triangles classified by angles. And this one is T19 through 22. And there is one, they say equal angular triangle, and that's just our equilateral triangle. So when we're doing that, we're not really focusing on that because we already know what's the equilateral triangle, equal angular. They're just adding that again, saying that equilateral triangles have equal angles. Each one of those are exactly the same. So we have acute, obtuse, and right. And these are the two charts that we're gonna need. So you can print these charts off of Google Classroom and make your own. You just need some string or yarn, or you could even make your own little charts. Do like equilateral, isosceles, scalene on the top, acute, right, obtuse. You could print these off and like cut them out and make a book about them, like adding your own definitions. You could make your own poster. You could try to teach a lesson to someone in your family, or maybe do a virtual lesson for someone would be really cool. We like to give you, especially as third graders, a lot of creativity in creating what follow-up work you feel like would challenge you to explore that in a way that's interesting to you. So we look forward to seeing what you see, what you have created, and I hope you have fun making your follow-up work. Have a great day.